The Crotchety Old Men Podcast is not a registered investment, legal, or tax advisor or a broker-dealer. All investment financial opinions expressed by or on the Crotchety Old Men Podcast are from the personal research and experience of the owner of the site and are intended as educational material. Although best efforts are made to ensure that all information is accurate and up to date, occasionally unintended errors and misprints may occur. Before you invest or make any investment-based decisions, consider your own personal circumstances. You should do your own research and seek advice from a financial professional.
Well. It's another morning and bright and early with the Crotchety Old Men Podcast. Welcome to the Crotchety Old Men Podcast, where we just kick back, relax, and talk about life in general and business as well. Life experiences, things that we've incurred and endured over our years of around the sun, as we like to say. So help me, George, welcome our guest this morning, and we're about to unload on some wisdom, knowledge, and education.
Hey Gary, how you doing today, man? It's a great day to get educated about financial freedom, about how to do the things that you want to do late in life. That the finances is not an issue. So yeah, I mean, great day, man. Great to be alive, and great day to be able to talk about these types of things and to try to impart as much information on everybody as possible.
Absolutely. I tell you, this thing called retirement is a wonderful place to be. And when we talk about retirement, and you can acquiesce on this too. I mean, not acquiesce, but you can chime in on this as well, George, in terms of the term retirement. What does that mean? It's a relative term, the way I see it. We used to say retirement is nothing but a number, it's an age. And I think, unfortunately, people are taught that, okay, retirement means, age 60, 65, 62. No, retirement actually means when you're financially able to say, I don't have to go to work anymore for money. What's your thoughts on that?
Mine exactly, Gary, is the fact that, you get your time back. When you think about as much time that you spend at work, I mean, it's 8 hours out of your day times 5. If you work overtime, that's more time. So, the thing about retirement is you get your time back and you're able to do, like I said, those things that you want to do, give back to family, spend time with grandkids. There's a lot of things that you can do without that, that financial worry. So that, if you prepare early in life, you're able to do that. We talk about economic empowerment. What is that? It's really, being able to take control over your finances and do those things that you want to do. And that's so important to have economic empowerment, to be able to have that flexibility. It's a great feeling.
It kind of reminds me of a statement that Paul Bear Bryant, the former football coach, the late football coach of Alabama Crimson Tide, he says, the will to win, everybody has that. But it's the will to prepare to win is what most people don't have. And I relate that to retirement. Everybody talk about, I can't wait till I'm able to retire, and I'm looking forward to retirement, and, and I'm ready to retire. But have you prepared to retire?
Exactly.
And I think so many people get caught up in the fact that, I'm looking forward to the retirement stuff. But what are you doing today to prepare for that one day when you can go in there and say, here's my resignation? What are you doing today? Let's talk a little bit about that. How did you prepare?
I mean, one of the things that that I like to also distinguish is that there is a difference between economic empowerment and financial freedom. I just defined economic empowerment just a minute ago, to be able to make that decision. But then financial freedom is having enough residual income to cover your living expenses, which allows you to spend precious time doing the things that you want to do as opposed to doing the things you have to do. So that's the key right there.
Yeah, you hit a nugget right there, man. I want you to expound on that a bit. Residual income.
Exactly.
What is residual income?
One of the things I call it, and I laugh about it, I call it mailbox money.
Money.
Yeah, I mean, mailbox money. When people ask me, it's like, all you do is you go to the mailbox and it's there. Rent, if you got a rental property and they're paying rent on time, there's some expenses. You got a management company, but when they send you the check, I mean, that's your money. That's nothing you really worked for. once you're in retirement. It just comes to the mailbox. If you've got a, you've got 401k money, or if you've got other money coming into your account that you've arranged to do, it just comes directly to your account. All you got to do is figure out how to allocate it. And that's, I mean, it's a beautiful thing.
It's a beautiful thing. It's no greater feeling, man, when you can go to the mailbox, or even in today, nowadays, you look at your account and you see, ding, you got money,
Direct deposit.
direct deposit and stuff. And sure, you got your expenses like as you relate to rental properties or whatever. There's always a cost of goods sold or a cost of operations or what have you as it relates to those things. But negate all that. Hey, it's the cash flow that's coming in, whereas that you don't have to get up and roll out of bed to go get it. And that residual money it makes retirement so much more fun.
Oh, exactly. I mean, as we get into more episodes here, we'll talk about different types of account that generate income, on a monthly basis. For example, if you have a stock account, you can buy those types of stock that pay particularly dividends. And right now, in your early age, what you do is you want to reinvest those dividends. So, for example, if you have one share of stock, which is a dividend paying stock, quarterly they'll pay dividends, and you'll see it ratcheting up. So now you got one share, then you'll have 1.5, 1.4, 1.9. Next thing you know, you got two shares, and you haven't put any more money in. But then when you get to our age, you can actually switch that so that instead of going back for reinvestment, it pays you. So here again, mailbox money. You got a monthly dividend check coming in from all of your different investments, which allows you to do whatever the heck you want to do with it. So, on top of what everybody wishes, wants is Social Security, but now you got Social Security, you got a dividends check, you got rent coming in from your rental property. Hey, mailbox money.
Mailbox. And it's multiple streams of income. Sometimes I revert to a biblical passage in terms of when you look at the Euphrates, the Odon River, and the several rivers that were mentioned in the Bible. Those were sources to enrich the Garden of Eden. Okay, as we know, in any garden, it needs what? It needs water. So we had these rivers coming from all different directions. And I look at that as like income coming from all resources, coming from all multiple directions, multiple sources. And when you have multiple sources of income, back when I was a financial consultant in the early 70s, late 80s, I would always talk about, setting up different streams of income. To your point, George, you got money's coming from Social Security. You have money's coming from a pension if you have that. Certainly if you have an IRA, if you don't have an IRA, and let me stop right here. Anybody listening to this doggone podcast who's under the age of 59 and a half, you should have an IRA. I say under the 59 and a half. Wouldn't you agree, George? I mean,
absolutely.
It's one of the best forced saving plans you could ever have. And then furthermore, here's one of the things I learned a long time ago, even as a young man. Got off the track every now and then, but you should always pay yourself first.
Absolutely.
Whatever money you get, hey.
What does that mean, Gary?
Well, I mean paying yourself first. I mean, as soon as you get your check, however it comes, take 10% of that money right off the top. If you make $1,000 a month or a week or however that money comes, take 10% right off the top. That's $100 if you're using $1,000 as an example. So get yourself to accustomed to living, first of all, below your means, below your income. Okay, but more importantly, get yourself in as a habit forming to invest or put aside at least $100 or 10% of your income every payday.
Hi, this is Paul with the Crotchety Old Men. Hey, if you like what you're hearing from the Crotchety Old Men Podcast, hit that subscribe or follow button on Google, Spotify, or iHeartRadio Podcasts. You can also send us feedback or topics you would like to hear discussed. Send us your comments to info@thecrotchetyoldmenpodcast.com. Once again, that's info@thecrotchetyoldmenpodcast.com, or visit our website at www.thecrotchetyoldmenpodcast for previous episodes.
Yeah, one of the things that I like to do is tell people put money in buckets. One of the things that people always have a concern about savings is or budgeting. I'm sorry, not the word savings, but budgeting is that they feel like when they budgeting is a negative word, meaning it's taking something away from me. But what I
Okay.
always tell people is if you like to, go out and party, or if you like to go to the club, or if you like to buy a car, whatever it is, that's what you use. That's the bucket you create for budgeting. If you like to go to the movies, so whatever it is, you like to go out to dinner with your wife or your spouse, that's a bucket you create. So you're not just creating a bucket for your gas bill, your light bill, and your mortgage. You're also creating a bucket for entertainment, vacations, or whatever, so that when it's time to do these things, you don't feel like you're taking money from one source to another. The money is already there, so that way you're allocating it that way from the beginning.
I like that. I like that analogy, because as I'm sitting here listening to you and I think about that, it's like you got to give your money an assignment. And so what it sounds to me like, George, when you have talk about those buckets, you have a why. Why am I putting this money over in this bucket? Well, because I want to buy a car. Why are you putting the money in this bucket? Well, because I want to take my wife on a very nice trip. Why are you putting? And so you give your money a why. Okay, why are you doing this anyway? And so for young people, and I know when I was in my 20s, 30s, whatever, I couldn't see 50 or 60 or sure and heck couldn't see 71. So to talk to me about
Exactly.
retirement, it's not a strong enough why when you're early on in your career. You're trying to build your career, and if you haven't gotten married yet, you're trying to sow your seeds and stuff, and get out there and have a good time. Like you said, partying. But if you give your money an assignment, it's just like if you got kids, hey, you got homework assignments, or, they have chores that they have to do. Hey, Billy, you got to take out the trash, or Martha, you need to go and make your bed, whatever, clean your room. Those are assignments. So I look at money the same way. Put overalls on your money. And like George was saying about the dividends, that's money working for you. And we weren't created to work for money. We're supposed to create money. You create money by having your money work for you. And if your money does not have an assignment, hey, something else out there will assign it to a broke down car, or a bill come, and there goes the money.
Exactly. And
You know,
one of the other questions I get, or one of the comments, when I talk to people about, savings, is like, well, I don't have any money to save. All the money I have goes to, my obligations. But going back to pay yourself first, it's even if you do $5, start. That's the key, is start. If you start
yes,
with $5, in the say it may not say it sound like a lot of money, but it is. $5, it's going to turn into 10, it's going to turn into 20. So you just keep saving, and you will eventually get a raise, and you want to add to that and make it $10, or
absolutely.
something else changes, so you start where you are. You
Yep.
never think it's a small amount, because it all adds up. It all adds up. You talked earlier about the IRA. If your job is offering a 401k, and they're giving you money to inside, for example, they do 50% for whatever you invest, that's free money.
That's
That's
free
free
money.
money. So
Yes.
here again, make sure you're investing in that. So look at the things that where you need to invest. Insurance. You want to do stock. You want to do homes, but it all takes time. But you have to start. That's the key. Start savings. Have goals in mind. And like I said, you're not really taking anything away from yourself. You're allocating this because it's a financial decision, and it's a mental decision that you've made, that you're going to do this. And because you're going to do this, you're not going to take away from anything else that you're enjoying doing, vacations or anything
Mhm.
else, because it's a conscious decision.
Right. And when you have a why attached to that money going into an account, make sure certainly it's going to an interest bearing account, because now you're going to be able to take advantage of dollar cost averaging, is the way I like to look at
Oh,
it.
yes.
You have the same amount of money going in, but as it goes in, it creates more dividends, like you said, and you get the interest. And so as interest goes up, a lot of people get what they call cost of living adjustments, COLA. Okay, so as that continues to increase, to your point, George, and you say as you get raises and stuff, so does your allocation. And so now you get a chance to be a beneficiary of compounding interest as opposed to paying compounded interest. Okay. Big difference. And it's better to receive compounded interest than to pay compounded interest on these long notes. And I see people now getting car notes and stuff, 5 and 6 year payment terms. Oh my goodness. That's one that's a way to punch a hole in your savings real quick. Okay, with that sort of stuff. So, you know,
Absolutely.
You
You
got
know,
to do it.
yeah, Gary, we've hit on a lot of things here, and hopefully we've kind of given our listeners an appetite for the types of things that we're going to be talking about. Some of the subjects that we're going to be hitting. We're going to talk about, zero interest credit cards. We're going to talk about bonds. We're going to talk about REITs. We're going to talk about commercial real estate. We're going to talk about residential real estate. We're going to talk about a lot of different topics. We're going to talk about CDs and bonds and mutual bonds and things like that so that you understand the difference. We're going to talk about financial uh, um, people that can help you do the things that you need to do. We're going to talk about fiduciaries. If you don't know what a fiduciary is, we're going to talk about that. So please, tune in to the Crotchety Old Men. We're going to be talking about all these kind of things that's going to whet your appetite, going to educate you, going to inform you, going to provide education and opportunity. On our next broadcast, we're going to try to hit you every Thursday with some new information, some pearls of wisdom, and hey, make this a great learning experience for all those out there. You got anything else to add, Gary?
Only other thing I have to add is this: keep your mind on your money and your money on your mind.
Appreciate that, man. Talk soon. Peace.
Hey.